Oh, we got an hour. Okay.
I think we can do it at 45.
All right. Ready to rock and roll? Don't moan like that.
Don't tell me what to do.
Welcome to the MoxStars podcast. I am Menace, one of your hosts, and I'm here with Rampage.
Hey, fellas. Also another one of your hosts. Excited today to talk Lorwyn one more time.
Or apostrophe page for short. And we have Annihilator. Or Annie for short. Welcome to the show, everybody. It's the MoxStars podcast, the number one podcast on the internet for Magic the Gathering and Dr. Pepper. And the number one show on the internet for continued Lorwyn spoiler discussion. We're also going to be talking about our three favorite cards. So we're really excited to kind of divulge on what cards we've either grown with, learned to love, and continue to love. All right, where do we go from here? Oh, yeah, if you'd like to support the show, you can do so by finding us on YouTube, where you can like, subscribe, and ring that bell for more notifications. You can also support us on all podcasting platforms, where you can leave us a 5-star review to make us look super duper cool. You can also support us on Patreon by becoming an official Pepperhead for $3 a month. Have your name turned Dr. Pepper Red on the Discord server. Jump on the Discord server. Join the Wednesday Webcam Wizardry, where it's a league developed by Rampage, where you can earn Pepper points to redeem for tokens, merch, in-game actions, any of the like. So let us know. Just join up, play. And we have all the rules and stuff like that pinned on the Wednesday Webcam Wizardry channel. So, Rampage, where are we at with Wizardry going on this week?
2 weeks left. We need everyone out there to come join, play. We have to keep UWP Quirt from the top of the standing so that I can win. That would be great. Yeah,
he's what he did last week with those. Yeah, he's very crafty. You can also come see me, Menace, in person on Tuesdays at Picklewood Paddle Club. If you're in the Seattle area or this greater Seattle area and you like to play Commander on Tuesday nights, you can join us in our 33,000 square foot facility, where we are going to be hosting Commander and Magic of all sorts. They're starting at 4 p.m. until we close. No outside food or beverage, because it's also a restaurant, which I am the executive chef for. So come on down. I want to be able to share what we've built there with the community that I love. So it's a really cool opportunity for us to just, share a really cool space together. All right, let's dive in. Lorwyn is still happening, and it's awesome. It's super sick. The whole set has been spoiled now. So today we just want to pick up with a few cards that we felt like we may have missed before, or like last week, we didn't have time to get to. So, let's dive right in. We're talking, gosh, I forgot where we want to start. Let's start with requiting hex. God dang it. Requiting.
You've never pronounced it the same way twice.
I have not.
Never.
Requiting?
Never have you.
Requiting hex.
You can't do it.
It's requiting hex. I think that's the right way to do it.
Sure.
All right. So Requiting Hex is 1 black mana for an uncommon, instant speed. As an additional cost to cast the spell, you may blight 1. If you're unfamiliar, blighting, you may put a -1/-1 counter on a creature you control, and then destroy target creature with mana value 2 or less. If this spell's additional cost was paid, you gain 2 life. So here's the thing with this card. I don't really think the blighting is absolutely
completely irrelevant. Nobody's doing that for 2 life.
No. But for 1 black mana, you get to destroy target creature with mana value 2 or less, which in today's constructed formats, it's quite a few powerful things. So Badger Mole Cub, I think, is the number one thing, which has been running away with Standard. There's so many decks just built around it, or splashing green to turbo and boost out of control. So I think that's the perfect target for it. But yeah, what do you guys think about this? I likened it to Fatal Push. Obviously, Fatal Push is a little bit.
It's not Fatal Push, but you likened it to Cut Down as well. And I actually, I've thought about that since you said that about 5 minutes ago. And in those 5 minutes, I've decided that I like it as an analog to Cut Down. Because realistically, with like total power and toughness 5 or less, you're pretty much only getting stuff CMC 2 or less.
Yeah.
Mostly. Yep. Like there's not a whole lot. But the thing is you could argue that they're both wider and narrower than each other. Like total power and toughness 5 or less can hit some things that are like CMC 3, CMC 4. But CMC 2 or less, no power and toughness restriction, can get rid of Moon Shadow.
Yes.
It can get rid of some Death Shadow. It can get rid of some pretty crazy stuff that isn't just the 2 shadows I mentioned. It can get rid of some other things. I think this is a really good card.
Parasitically, in this set, that Blight 1 is supposed to be typically seen as a downside, but in this set, so many things you play in your deck have remove a counter from this, do good thing.
Right.
So in this set, phenomenal.
Yeah, there's an exchange like this for me, like goes into a few decks that already build. Is this something that you would we would put in Taeyam because there's like enough things to put a counter on and then it just adds to the ammunition for later. So, and on top of that being removal. So who knows? But right now, I think that this coming out, there's not really a 1 mana. People are using Stab. People are using Stab in Standard right now as a 1 black mana, like -2/-2 removal.
Yeah.
It just doesn't do enough. But now you have something that can capture so much more instead of using, it being the difference between it being 1 mana and 2 mana is such a massive, it's so much more of an advantage because you can extend your plays further while still holding up 1 land. And every turn that goes by where you're just extending further and further and further and holding this, I think this is going to be a headache to deal with in those mono black all removal type decks.
Speaking of headache, what's the name of this card again?
Requiting Hex.
Requiting?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
What do you think it is?
No, I was just checking.
Oh, okay. All right. The next card we're going to talk about with Lorwyn, which we think is actually pretty nasty. Glenn Alendra's Answer.
Yes.
Yes. I'm sorry we did not get around to this, dear listeners, last week. It had already been spoiled. This is a mythic for 2 and 2 blue. An instant that says this spell cannot be countered. Counter all spells your opponents control and all abilities your opponents control. Create a 1/1 blue and black fairy creature token with flying for each spell and ability countered this way.
This card is awesome.
Yeah, this reminds me of like Spell Swindle.
I was thinking again, I don't know, just at 4 mana and as like a blowout instant that just turns the tide, turns the tempo of the game.
Yeah.
Feels like Cryptic Command. Feels like this sets Cryptic Command. It's not modal, right? But it does hit spells and abilities, which feels wider than a typical counter spell.
Yeah.
And it's at 4 mana as like an answer card, which is unique. Typically you don't run those. And if you do, they better be freaking good, and this is freaking good. This gives you flyers on their turn that you hit them with the turn after they got none of their dinner or dessert. And then you say, actually, I got to eat while you were starving. Here you go.
I mean, the question becomes, is this freaking good enough?
Is it good in Commander?
In Commander, I think this is good in the worst decks. And by that, I mean like Baral eats this up.
It's 1 mana cheaper.
Yeah, Grand Arbiter eats this up. Like all the decks you hate playing against love this card. All of the heavy control mono blue, I could see as a lot of the mono blue control deck builds love this deck.
Yeah, and a lot of the removal is one-sided. It's not. Yeah, so they're going to try to keep the creatures best they can.
Yeah.
Rampage is something you're plugging into decks.
I think so. I appreciate the artist, Sam Guy.
Yes.
Phenomenal work. Once again. I think it's cool. I think it does stuff. But I don't think I'm looking for this. I just see the 4 mana cost. I think of other 4 mana spells that counter everything on the stack, and in my world, those are free.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, notably this can't be countered, so you have things, like ward that pays no mind. Well, I guess does nothing with ward. But the big thing that is important is like when I see arena content and I see players like pushing for the win, a lot of their conditions or a lot of the thing they build a massive board state, and then one thing sets off a chain reaction where there's just like all of a sudden there's 24 triggers on the stack. That's where this is going to eat it up.
Oh, I will be playing the heck out of this on Arena.
Yes, because
I really will. Because it becomes you've got 63 unresolved.
Yes, life gain. Life gain is a huge deck that just like puts out every time a creature enters, you gain 1 life, and then whenever you gain 1 life, trigger this blah 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 blah. And then you got fucking 20 triggers on the stack, and you're like, all right, Glenalendra's answer, wipe all that stuff off. 20 fairies.
Yeah. I'm thinking of that insufferable mono green card, Myth Weaver Pog.
And Brawl.
Like, it's like, I'm gonna all of the Brawl decks where it's just like I have 170 triggers on the stack currently with Scute Swarm and whatever not. You just Glenalandra's answer. I see this card being concede game, just all like yes, if someone puts this on the stack and you're like popping off, you just concede. You just walk away, concede the game. So this will be funny. I think funnier online than in person. I don't really see people playing in person that much, but I think it's great.
Here's the thing, we're developing a trigger token for our series of tokens, which by the way, if you do not know that we have tokens, they're the sickest tokens of all time
in the game.
Yes, but I think it's important for players to have card tokens that signify events in paper Magic, because there are so many times where you're like trigger, and then you're like, how many are there? And it's like, well, here, look at this sick MoxStars token, trigger token that signifies exactly how many triggers are on the stack. So if you don't have any in your collection, you should get some, and if you're very patient, you can wait a couple months, we'll have some. So that way cards like this you can keep a count on them, because it's gonna be very suspicious if you're like holding up mana and then all of a sudden you're like, how many triggers and abilities and spells are on the stack? I don't know. There's literally only one card in all of Magic that cares about that right now.
Yeah.
So all right, card in white that we love but maybe have missed. Let's see. It's not a Johnny.
No, Johnny is.
It's super not a Johnny.
Johnny's. I don't know why they nerfed a Johnny.
Yeah, well, they should have just left him dead.
They after MH3, they were like, okay, a Johnny cannot be like the most overpowered planeswalker in all of Magic, so I think we're gonna just make the next one really bad.
Yeah, let's put our spotlight on the Kinscare Sentry.
This is fun.
And not on Kinsbell Aspirant, whose artwork is very questionable.
Don't look at her neck.
We have 1 in a white Kithkin Soldier for a 2/2 first strike lifelink. Yep. Whenever this creature attacks, you may put a creature card with mana value X or less from your hand onto the battlefield, tapped and attacking, where X is the number of attacking creatures you control. I think this card goes crazy in those exact same life gain scenarios that I was talking about before, where you gain life, you get a trigger, and then you're already sprouting so many bodies because you have so many Soul Sister effects that are just gaining you life. So I think that plays perfectly into Kinscare Sentry's line of play. And then you can drop bigger things like the Angel that draws you cards whenever you put a +1/+1 counter on it.
What's the it's Collected Company? I was saying I feel like this is an incredible include in Collected Company.
Yeah. Collected Company, and then there's
it allows you, if you don't have that ability to dig and you're trying to get stuff out of your hand quicker. Also the fact that on curve there's nothing else that does this at 2 mana. Like in terms of like Collected Company is a reach in those decks. Typically your curve tops out at 4. A lot of times you're not even in green other than Collected Company, and then you're basically in white otherwise. This I think gets around Collected Company, other than it doesn't put in your, like,
Puts it into
the
play.
point is that you get to dig. That's
Yeah.
the point of Collected Company. It's that you get to dig. So I am, foot in my mouth a little bit here, but I will say, the fact that it's first strike really does help. People aren't going to block it as much, especially if you play it on curve.
Especially in tandem with things like Collector's Cage, which are still going to be legal by the time you put a counter on it.
No one's blocking first strike 3
with the number of bodies you're putting down and stuff like that too. It's like you could attack with this, get the trigger, put the thing down, and then now you have your third body to pay 1 at instant speed, get your Collector's Cage.
Yeah, the thing that really stood out to me when we were like picking cards to highlight today is just there's a few cards like Mutable Explorer in this that just kind of do like a lot. It's like, okay, it's got lifelink, it's got first strike, it's efficiently costed, and it's got this huge payoff upside at 2 mana.
Yeah, let's move on over to Mutable Explorer because
this is my favorite card in the set.
Yeah, I feel like people have forgotten about this. This is one of the first cards that actually got spoiled.
First teaser.
Yeah, 2 and a green for a Changeling 1/1. When it enters, create a tapped Mutavault token. And if you've never played with Mutavault before, this thing, I mean, it was in standard not too long ago and it ran standard. Still, it was mono red's like way of
always been the best
keeping a threat on the battlefield. So yeah, it's if you're unfamiliar with Mutavault, it's a colorless land that allows you to tap for a colorless, and then you can pay 1, and it becomes a 2/2 creature with all creature types until end of turn. So yeah, pretty insane.
Yeah, so
honestly insane.
The thing is in a Merfolk deck, there's a lot of Simic Merfolk decks. There's a lot of Elf decks. Those are 2 creature types of which people play a lot of kindred themes and strategies. Mutable Explorer is nuts. This is ramp, by the way. This is ramp. Typically, when you pay 3 mana, you're cultivating. This gets you your tapped land. That tapped land also happens to be something that most decks can't afford to run. A lot of decks can't afford to run a Mutavault in the 99 or in the 60 because it's a colorless land. Even though it enters untapped, you can play it in like Legacy Fish and stuff, Modern Fish. But even then, people don't love to play it because, again, it's kind of a dead draw and stuff. This gives you a body that's already of your kindred type. So it's already going to get the Island Walk or the +10/+10 if you're playing Elves or whatever the heck it is. You could play this in Slivers. You play this in Slivers. You spend 3 mana, you get a flying whatever the heck your sliver is. And then you get a land that will also
turn into a sliver. Yeah.
It does a lot for 3 mana. And the fact that it's an ETB, like you're talking airbending and stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, oh my God, you can abuse this like crazy. Yeah. Flickering this every turn, you are going to consistently be 1, then 2, then 3, then 4 turns ahead of the table. It's nuts.
Yeah. Airbender's Ascension is going to go crazy with this.
Oh yeah.
When we first got spoiled, I got really excited because I thought like the green theme or the land theme was going to be making Mutavaults. Unfortunately, this is the only Mutavault.
They couldn't do any more than this. It's so strong.
I'm glad they did not. I'm glad they limited it to one thing, and that if this cost 2 mana, it would have been a complete mistake. If this cost 4 mana, it would have been unplayable. I think this is really, really cool. I love the fact that there's a Mutavault token. I'll say it. I liked Everywhere tokens. I thought Everywhere tokens were really cute. I think Mutavault tokens fun. I think it's fun. I think it's fun when there were Tarmogoyf tokens, right? In that one set.
Yeah.
But I like Tarmogoyf. So, I think it's fun when we bring back these classic cards. It's like now it's so ubiquitous to Magic players that now it's a token. We just have it.
Yeah. I think the Tarmogoyf one is a little bit of a special circumstance because that thing has 0+/1+ as its power and toughness.
Thing to keep
so
token, yes.
That's the difficult thing. But Mutavault is something where hopefully there's enough tokens printed where it isn't an insane thing to track down, or it isn't an expensive token. If it becomes too expensive, Death Milk Designs and I will design our own.
Go down just a few rows to Selfless Safe Right.
Nah, I hate this card. We're not talking about this card.
Why?
Because it's bad.
You think this is bad?
I think this is horrible.
What are you talking about?
This is a bad card.
This is just a 4/2 heroic intervention.
Yeah. It's Flash Convoke 3 and 2 green for an elf warrior that when this creature enters, choose a creature type. Other permanents you control of that creature type gain hexproof and indestructible until end of turn.
In Elves, this is just another heroic intervention.
Yeah, tell me you've never played Elves without telling me you've never played Elves.
Yeah.
What are you doing, man?
I've never played Elves. I hate Elves. Like, sorry.
Polarizing take in the Magic community. I'm sorry, sir. Even if you hate playing against Elves.
Yes, I do.
Look at that cape. Even if you hate playing against Elves, look at that cape.
I thought this was an enchantment creature for a second.
I'm not. You gotta respect.
Look at the cape. It's got sparkles on it. I thought it was a Nyx.
You can't bite
cape.
the hand that feeds, and I'm telling you.
Holy cats! Have you guys seen the alt art for this?
Okay, we're clicking on it.
Check that bad boy out.
Yeah,
that'll change.
That is a Force of Will card right there.
That doesn't look like a boy to me.
And I'm not saying Force of Will like you're gonna use Force of Will on this. I'm saying that Force of Will is another card game where the artwork looks very similar to something like this.
Yeah. Some of these elves are sexy.
And okay, so now that we've talked about some really great cards, we do have to talk about one really great card. Otherwise, Rampage will lose his ish. We have to talk about Soul Immolation. And I'm not saying that like we gotta take this. I'm unwilling to take this pit stop. I think this card's amazing. So Rampage, take it away.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. This card is awesome. I hate board wipes. If you have a board wipe in your deck, for the sake of having a board wipe, if I'm behind, I'll just
know what that feels
clean
like.
the plate and start over. Quit it. Don't do that. That's not fun for anyone. Just lose the game and be psyched about it.
Have a contingency plan. Have a contingency plan, please.
This is one-sided. This isn't a board wipe. You kill one of your things, and then you kill all of everyone else's. This is what board wipes should be. This is what we get excited about.
I disagree about your take on board wipes on the principle that I think they are important. I just hate farewell. I hate board wipes where they get rid of the contingency plan. I think running damnation.
Is that where we like Venn diagram?
No.
Farewell?
We're in the middle on this because like I think we both appreciate some part of it, but like the overlap has to be that there has to be a game afterwards. If the game after your board wipe is less interesting than the game before because you've like Armageddoned or something, then I'm not with your board wipe. Screw your board wipe. But this is interesting. Because it requires setup on the red players.
Here's the crazy thing about this card. As an additional cost to cast this spell, Blight X. X can't be greater than the greatest toughness among creatures you control.
Yeah.
Right? So you can have a wide ass board state. You can also save some of your creatures. And then Soul Immolation deals X damage to each opponent and each creature they control. So you can save some of your creatures just enough to wipe their boards and then still get through with something. So like this is a finisher. This is not only is it...
it finishes in goblins hard.
Yeah, not only is it a control, like a sense of control in red, which you don't get very often, because most of the time you get cards that just want to deal damage to the face or like...
Which this does too, which is crazy.
Yeah,
That's the
deals
craziest part of this is that it shoots face too.
I wonder how many decks will just be playing this as a one-of and constructed, but in Commander, I feel like this is so much more valuable because you can, like you said, in Goblins and Krenko, you have 20 Goblins in it.
And usually you have one fat Goblin, right? Like there's usually like Muxus or something. There's a Goblin that gets like +X.
Yeah.
If you just blight that one and dome everybody for like 10 and blow the board and then just get through with all your 1/1s, you end the game. Like this could be your curve topping game ender.
Yeah, you can just blight one on every creature you control. So it's not just blight one singular creature, it's put X -1/-1 counters on a creature you control. So blight X can't be greater than the greatest toughness among creatures you control. So you can put it on.
About that? Are we sure that you can blight multiple creatures to pay a
you blight one creature?
Yeah. Oh, this is so dumb.
You're wrong.
You have a 5/5 in your deck. Guaranteed.
You're wrong on that.
Yeah, I am wrong on that, but I feel like I should be right on that because
no, because that would be crazy. You could go wide and then shoot narrow.
Yes. You should be able to do that for 5 mana.
For 5 mana, but look at how
In red.
look at how a lot of the other blight effects work.
If anything, I've been, like this set's great. The set's great. Okay. The set is awesome.
That's great when you ignore the rules.
Yeah. No. You never let me finish my sentence. Okay. So here we go. The set's great, but there are little things like this that make me go, why? Like design element wise, why?
Well, you want your cake
Why?
and eat it too, guy.
Well, yeah, but this just becomes bad in red because there's nothing chunky.
No, it's not.
There's nothing chunky in red. Look at Hazoret Godseeker. There's 2 toughness. It's indestructible. 2 toughness. I can't even soul immolation that to get through. Come on.
Yeah, but it also shoots phase. I'm telling you, this gets through. This still works in goblins. There's always a fat goblin. Tell me you've never played goblins without telling me you've never played goblins. There's always one fat goblin that's just sitting there, and then there's a bunch of 1/1s, and you can't attack with the fat one because you need it. I'm right. I know I'm right on this.
And then we have red. In red, we also have a new removal spell, which will now be the gold standard for standard moving forward.
Yeah.
Seer. 1 in a red. Seer deals 4 damage to target creature or planeswalker.
Crazy.
Hello, power creep.
Hello, power creep for real. Yeah, that's crazy.
All right. I will admit I was wrong on soul immolation on its concept of design. But I do think I could have made a better card with my idea.
Could you have?
Yeah, I do. Amongst other cards that are awesome in the set, Formidable Speakers, also something that we saw very early on that is just not getting any buzz at all because we're seeing so many other really great things. And then there are 2 cards that we want to call out for being just generically bad. Now, your guys listening out there, you're going to be like, well, these are the most hyped cards in the set. Well, sometimes life is disappointing. Okay. And there just isn't there isn't enough behind these cards to really deem them good cards. We talked about this a little bit last week, but Hexing Squelcher, I'm giving this like a 2 out of 10. This is a bad card.
This is where we're gonna.
This is a trap. This is a trap card. No. It's a goblin, sure, and that's its best thing. That's a thing. Best thing it's got going for it.
What is with you today? Why is he being so contentious?
This is the content, baby.
You're just trying. This is bait.
I'm not baiting you.
Yeah, you are. Okay, so it's not a bad card.
It's just not.
It's objectively not a bad card.
This is a $10 or less card.
This is a very strong card. I would say yes, $10 or less in 6 months. That's what I said when we first started talking about Lorwyn. I'll say it again. Talk to me in 6 months. This is not a card that off rip is going to blow people's minds the way people think it's going to blow minds.
Yeah.
Similarly,
remember all the Instagram reels of people being revealed.
Malding,
yeah, people malding. Yes.
Yeah. So there's going to be lots of people malding over this card.
Yeah.
As there already have been. I'd say in the past few days there's been less of that.
Well, yeah, it's because
everybody lost their freaking minds.
Well, yeah, here in the United States, our attention span is all of 15 seconds.
Well, that's true. But I also think the truth of this is that I think a lot of new players haven't seen a lot of these effects, that this spell can't be countered. It actually hasn't come up as frequently in the last few sets. This is a unique effect you don't see a lot in red. Red doesn't have a lot of the spell can't be countered stuff. Wards being pay 2 life is also not something. I can think of a couple red cards that have stuff where you have to pay life to interact with it, and it wasn't actually ward yet. But again, this always gets through. It hits the board. I think it's very, very good in situations where you're trying to do 8 whack in really competitive environments where there are a lot of counter spells.
The sideboard card.
As a sideboard card.
It's a sideboard, yes.
It is not a main board card.
For your name being Annihilator, that's a very reasonable take, and I agree. Last week, you guys were dogging on this card.
Yeah, it sucks.
And I was on your team.
I'm not dogging on it. I'm not dogging on it. I just don't. I think the hype level for this card is it's unrealistic.
It's
the same thing with the other card you're going to mention on this. It's at the end of the day, it's still an on-curve bodied 2-drop card. It is a creature. The reason that these effects are ever really good are if they can stay. This creature is never going to stay. This creature is going to be a sideboard card in formats exclusively where one of my sneak preview favorite cards, Lightning Bolt, is always played. And this card will always eat a bolt. It'll always
it'll always eat removal.
It'll always eat a bolt. It'll get you to shock your opponent, and it'll get them at best to off tempo themselves and have a handful of dead dazes and force of wills for like maybe 2 turns. And you'll get to deal like 8 damage in those turns, which is good.
This is a dead card past turn 4, I believe. Like that's
past turn 4. If you're playing this and you've been sitting on spells that you can't resolve, you lost as an aggro player a game.
Well, I'm saying you draw it. You draw it turn 4 or later, and you're pretty much dead in the water. You're probably playing Cavern of Souls as it is if you're in Goblins or anyway. So
that's the other thing. Is Cavern of Souls, any format where you're playing this, you're playing Cavern of Souls anyway.
Yeah.
And Cavern of Souls is the card that you actually need because again, just like the other card that we're about to talk about, Cavern of Souls is a land. Lands are hard to remove.
Yes.
The point of putting things on things that aren't creatures are that creatures are easy to remove. They are the easiest to remove thing. That's why artifact strategies and enchantress strategies are good at all, because they're more difficult to interact with than creature-based strategies. That's always been the case. If we had as much abundant and flexible and variously costing instant speed, enchantment, and artifact removal, those strategies wouldn't be as oppressive as they are. But they are because there isn't. When you see really good creatures with effects like this, always be critical. Always be like, they're not going to stay. They're not going to stay.
Yes.
They're never going to stay.
You have to take these effects with a grain of salt.
Yeah.
The amount of hype that there is following this card after its release, what I am doing purposefully by being hyperbolic is I am trashing the hell out of this card because we need to have a middle ground opinion.
You're the opposite side of the Mauled Hound.
Yes.
You're the anti-Mauled Hound.
Yes, I'm the anti-Mauled Hound because that guy sucks. And I rule, dude. I'm awesome. So
I didn't say that.
Yeah.
I'm just saying that I understand the law of averages here. Let's go to the next card.
Yeah. Hexing Squelcher. Do not get your hopes up.
Similarly, the other most expensive on hype card is Bitter Bloom Bearer. Bitter Blossom, one of my favorite cards ever. Not one of my top 3 favorite cards, but as a cube player for over a decade, Bitter Blossom, an irreplaceable card in any sized cube. If you are a Magic the Gathering enthusiast, you put this thing on a 1/1 flyer, it just dies the time it comes out. You will never get another fairy out of this card. It is never sticking around. It will not stay out. If you play more than 2 of them, you better be in mono black because holy crap, this thing costs 2 black pips. Yeah. Not 1 in a black like Bitter Blossom. That's the cool thing about Bitter Blossom. It's an enchantment, and it's 1 in a black. You can play it in a white deck. You can splash a little black, and then you have a body to sacrifice every turn. This dies. That's what it does.
Quickly.
It dies.
Fire magic.
You play it, and then it dies.
Yep. So Bitter Bloom Bearer is a trap. And I mean that in a way that this is a commander printed. This is a card printed for commander exclusively. This is not ever going to be viable in standard. This is never going to be viable in any other competitive. They will try and they will drop in rank and they will lose a lot of games because of it.
Pre-sale on this. $25 and $58 for the alt art.
Yeah. So tell me for what for 2 mana you can get in standard right now. I don't know. Badger Mole Cub. You get a 2/2 body that adds additional power to your board and then magnifies your mana. So you're sitting here and you're like, oh yeah, I'm definitely going to invest 2 mana into Bitter Bloom Bearer where it lands, it does nothing. And then, well, it's got flash.
The flash is the thing that it's supposed to offset the investment of an enchantment because you play it at the end of their turn and you immediately get the fairy on your next turn. But again, for 2 black, if you're holding up instant mana, you better be killing something. Yes,
just kill the thing.
Because you're gonna get killed.
You're gonna hold on to this thing, hoping that at the end step you can drop it down, but then you have to use your answers, and then so now you're a turn behind on generating bodies. And when you do generate a body, you're losing life. Yeah. So Not
And
really
also,
great.
Also, look at what they made the black threats to be in this set. For one less black pip, you're getting a 7/7 with mana.
Yes.
It was kind of a weird set for them to print. I mean, I understand. Again, Lorwyn, like OG Lorwyn, Morningtide, one of my favorites.
They legit should have just printed Bitter Blossom and
just reprint it. Yeah. Well,
and then just forgot about this design entirely because it's just bad.
The rules were different when they printed it, but they had the bonus sheet, Bitter Blossom.
Yes. And there is bonus sheet Bitter Blossom. So if you pull it out of your pack at draft, you can play the Bitter Blossom from your pack.
But again, like looking at this again, I have a cube. I update it maybe every 3 sets nowadays because there's so many cards that come out. Bitter Blossom, one of the most important cards in the cube. I will not be adding this.
That sucks.
And I always add redundant effects. It's just that this doesn't really work at 2 black pips on a 1/1.
Right. All right. Those are the cards we felt like we missed discussing last week on the Lorwyn Spoilers episode. So if there are any other cards you felt like we missed, please drop down in the comments on YouTube and let us know. All right, fellas, you ready to get into our favorite cards of all time? Each of us is going to give our top 3 cards of all time, give a short explanation for it, and any discussion that comes from that, we're going to dive deep. Or not so deep or shallow. Depends how much time we have left. All right. Who wants to go first? Raise your hand.
You go first.
I'm going first. All right. I actually don't know which of my 3 I want to do first. I think the show's mascot deserves to go first. So my first favorite card of all time is Sanctum Weaver. Where's the applause button? Oh, yeah. There we go. Beautiful. This is one of the greatest mana dorks ever printed. This is, actually, I'm going to go back in time. So this is my most recent card out of all of the cards. There isn't a card printed from when this was made to now that I actually like more than this card. Yes. So Sanctum Weaver, 1 and a green, enchantment creature, important. Dryad, 0/2 that says tap, add X mana of any one color where X is the number of enchantments you control. So to me, when I was first started getting into cEDH, I was looking at things like Bloom Tender and things that tap for extra mana because I wanted to find advantage in ways that others weren't utilizing. So I looked at this, and then actually the funny thing was I was actually looking at playing Staxios, like Thrasios, in enchantment like form.
Gross.
Right? Because this and a Freed from the Real wins the game.
It does.
Like, that's the thing is that with Thrasios, you just draw your entire library and then play out your win condition. Bada bing, bada boom. Super simple. That's why I love this card. But then I realized, you know what? I'm actually not a Thrasios player and I'm not a 4-color player. I'm a 3-color player at heart. So this has just been jammed into every Naya deck. And so every deck that I've built now, especially with things like Zakama, which was my first cEDH deck where you wanted to sort of you want to be able to get to Zakama sooner rather than later, and Sanctum Weaver helped me get there, putting down like little stacks pieces here and there, and then all of a sudden your Sanctum Weaver taps for 4 or 5 mana. It's insane. So, and then I can't tell you how many games I've won because people just ignore it. They see a Wild Growth, Utopia Sprawl, and then all of a sudden you're like, yeah, Stony Silence, Sanctum Weaver, and you're like, yeah, I am in control here. Sorry, but yeah, Sanctum Weaver to me is one of the greatest mana dorks of all time. If I am playing green, I'm going to find a way to put a Sanctum Weaver in, regardless of whether or not the deck has white. So that is why Sanctum Weaver is one of my top 3 cards of all time.
Yeah, the curves that you get to Utopia Sprawl and similar effects are Abundant Growth and stuff. They're underplayed. So when you play those on curve into this, turn 1, turn 2, you have like 6 mana on turn 3. It's pretty gnarly.
We actually went out and played on Thursday, and Gabe had dropped Sanctum Weaver. Like, it was late. It was like turn 6, but the entire time he had been sitting on like 3 or 4 enchantments. And so Owen goes, Annihilator. And he goes, well, you're telling me you have to kill that, right? Like, you're going to kill that, right? And I was just like, I don't know, man. I don't know. And then I realized that if I didn't.
I said it doubles his mana.
Yes, it literally would have doubled the amount of mana he had, and that would have completely upended the game, like in his favor. So you were right, but you ended up killing it anyway. So
Well, it's somebody's got to do the hard jobs,
yeah.
People these days.
Yeah, I was keeping you pinned down. That was the problem. I used all my resources on you.
Everybody's always expending their resources on me.
Yeah. All right, Rampage, your first favorite card of all time.
Number one favorite card of all time. If you've known me or met me for 45 seconds, I've tried to tell you the truth about our friend and ally, Profane Tutor. It's my favorite card. I have a deck building restriction I've placed on myself. I call Commander. So amongst all of my decks, I only have one copy of any card. I break that rule for Profane Tutor. If I have a deck that can fit a Profane Tutor in it, I'm putting it in it. It's so good because I hate tutoring. When I do tutor, I Vamp Tutor or Wishclaw or whatever. I never know what I'm going to go get. And this gives me 2 turns to think about it. And on that turn, I go get that thing that helps me. I don't have to spend any mana to do it.
There you go.
I think ending it there is amazing. That was honestly the best pitch I've ever heard for this card. And it's endearing. It's cute. I love it. It's honest.
I don't know what I want to do. Give me some time.
Give me 2 turns.
Yep. Yeah, I'll think about it.
I'm going to need a card to get me out of the situation I will find myself in 2 turn cycles.
Exactly. You're joking, but exactly.
No, I'm not joking.
It comes up.
I love it.
And then, I don't know, look at that art.
Oh, it's great art. It's classic.
Yeah, it's really great. I will say, I think there was at one point you sent me a text message when this first came out, or like I can't remember if you were speccing on it or something like that, but you sent me a picture of you had 20 of them. You'd bought 20 at one particular time, and you're so hot on it. And I'm sure it's appreciated because it's like $3 to get one now. So yeah, pretty rad. It's a good card.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Annihilator.
Well, fitting with my name, which again, whatever. It wasn't I was going to be something else, but now I'm Annihilator and you're running with it a little harder than whatever. Lightning Bolt.
Annihilator.
Bro. I'm being annihilated by the common cold right now. And I'm going to annihilate you for pronouncing Annihilator like that. But Lightning Bolt, to me, is one of the few true benchmarks in Magic. There's not many cards. In fact, I would argue this is the only card from Alpha Beta that has remained a consistent power level benchmark for Magic in continuum. They have not surpassed the power level of this card for what it is, for how much it costs, despite it being the most reprinted card in Magic's history.
If you guys can't see on screen, I've pulled up every single printing. This is the card with the single most artworks as well.
It is the most reprinted card in all of Magic, and it has never been power. You cannot be, they print Seer, right? There always has to be some trade-off. Whenever they print new red direct damage, there's a trade-off. Even when they printed new versions of Bolt in the 90s, when they were still workshopping the game, they were careful not to make another Lightning Bolt.
Yeah.
Because they needed it to be the single, there can only be a Lightning Bolt. Now, they printed a Counterspell, right? In these sets too. But then in Legends, they printed Chain Lightning.
Yes.
And then they printed Mana Drain. So they said we're okay breaking the rules and expanding ground on counter magic, on the efficiency of counter magic, on what 2 blue pips get you. But as long as magic is magic, 1 red pip means 3 damage anywhere. And I like that. I like consistency. I like that this set, it really, when I'm thinking about the pace of a game, I think of a 20 life game where you have 4 of these shuffled in your deck. That's what I think of. You know, it's like, how many turns could I reasonably expect if my opponent even got stuck on one land, could deal me 12 damage by turn 4?
Yep.
I like it. I like that as a benchmark. I think that's fair, and I think it's good to have repeatable, unbreakable benchmarks that are kind of like an unspoken rule with the game experience. And this is, I think, one of the last ones we have.
Mm-hmm.
Quick callback to last week. This card is super appropriate to have been printed textless.
Yes.
Yeah. Oh, yes.
The best textless promo ever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, I agree wholeheartedly with this. This card is so good. Lightning Bolt has been so good for so long. I include it in pretty much every single one of my cEDH builds too. Oh, yeah. It has utility beyond just being 1 red mana for 3 damage anywhere. Like there's repeatability if you're in Displacer Kitten lines and stuff like that. This is your win condition. This is not just a 3 mana or 1 mana 3 damage anywhere. This is a win condition for some decks. This is for me in Shalai and Halar. This is a red source that deals damage, triggers the red terror, and my combo starts. Like there's additional, it kills Drannith Magistrate. There are things that it does that you just do not get for this efficient of a rate. So the ceiling is incredibly high, and so is the floor. So it's not only did we get a cool history lesson, but it still maintains to be one of the best cards in all of Magic. And they printed it in the coolest version ever when they made that Street Fighter Secret Lair.
Oh my God.
Hadouken! That's the only one I buy. It's like I will spend.
How did I have the most boomer Magic player take, and then you managed to make it the most like Secret Lair player take?
I'm a menace, dude. What's up?
That's crazy.
All right. My second card. This one came out at a time when I was still developing as in my creative prowess as a deck builder and commander. Song of Creation is made by a guy we don't talk about anymore. The artwork, we do not talk about that guy anymore. No, but it is an incredible piece of artwork, I will say. So regardless of how horrible that person is, this is a beautiful piece of artwork.
There's been a few of those in Magic artwork history.
Yes. So this Song of Creation is 1 green, blue, and a red for an enchantment that says you may play an additional land on each of your turns. Whenever you cast a spell, draw 2 cards. At the beginning of your end step, discard your hand. This is like slacklining over the Grand Canyon.
I don't think there's much of a payoff for doing that.
No, there's a good chance you die. Yeah. There's just a really
this has a payoff at least. There's there's gold at the other end of the canyon.
Is it physically possible to do it? Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, it is. Mm-hmm. Is the chance high that you'll get to the other side? No, no, it is not. So the reason I love this card is because of the ceiling that it offers, right? There's a chance you get to the other side of the canyon, baby. And when you do, you're the greatest of all time. What's up?
Yeah.
As soon as you fail to get to the other side, though, you fall, you discard your hand, and you are top decking. Yeah, and most of the time your opponent's just going to let you. They're and Commander, the card gets a little bit better because you have your Commander. You can cast this. I play this a lot of time in Xeris. So you cast this on curve and then you get Xeris the next turn and then you get to draw 2 cards. Like if you're not able to keep spinning the wheels. But in the meantime, while you're spinning the wheels, once you cast this, you play that additional land, you drop your Lotus Petal, you draw a ton of cards, you see how far you can push this. This was one of the first standard decks I also fell in love with. I did this with Ominous Seas, which came from the same set. Mm-hmm. And this was also a time when Underworld Breach and Thassa's Oracle were legal in standard. So Song of Creation, Thassa's Oracle, and Underworld Breach were my entire strategy in Riel, the Everwise. So I would go to my end step, discard my whole hand, Riel would trigger, I'd draw it all, I'd throw a Thassa's Oracle into the graveyard, a Bag of Holding as well, and then you go ahead and then you'd cast Underworld Breach, and then, whoop, there goes my library. Boop, Thassa's Oracle. What's up?
Recently, this had a resurgence as well with Flubs the Fool.
Yeah. They recreated Song of Creation they put it on a legendary creature, and this had some cEDH play. Like people were really trying to make it work, because I think you can see.
Well, the thing with flubs is he gives you a card when you play a land too, which is huge.
Yes.
The thing with Song is, I think what you were getting at earlier too, when you were like your opponents let it happen, is it is really fun. It's because like when you see Necropotence, for example, right? When you see a thing that like this does break like the constraints of the game. Right. Like it changes how the game is being played.
Right.
It says I get to replace every card I play. That is a fundamental change to the flow of the game. Usually when you play something that does a fundamental change to how the game's going to flow, like Necropotence, all of your opponents are immediately like, it's like the little exclamation point above the head. But Song of Creation is one of the few that when it drops, everyone's like, I mean, if you get there, that's fine. Like people are kind of like, I'll see if you might just blow your own head off. That's all right, Yeah. And so there's a respect if you pull it off.
Yeah.
Those are always cool cards. Yeah, the
cEDH like community, the couple times I've put this on the stack, it's gotten countered every time. Like really? I have never gotten this off on a cEDH
they probably
table.
think that you're playing at the turn that you have.
Yes, because I'm going to win.
Yeah.
So, which is a genuine fear you should have. A lot of decks, if you're going to be playing that, are donuts and free mana. So it makes sense why you would want to counter it, because the ceiling, like I said, the ceiling is the game ends. Yeah. Right, and you can't risk that a lot of the time in cEDH.
Once that's out, you can't fight over it either, because if you have any counter magic, they're just going to keep refueling with more counter magic.
So it's cool that they made flubs, but the true place in my heart is taken by Song of Creation. I think it's a really great card.
Shouts out Ikoria.
Yes.
Yeah.
All right, Rampage, where are we going?
We are going to Rumble Malevolently.
Okay.
From MH3, we got Malevolent Rumble. It's sorcery. The only way they could make this just a crumb better would be to make it an instant. But for 1 and a green, you get to reveal the top 4, grab a permanent, put that into your hand, put the rest into the bin, and as a trait, you get a little guy. And that guy helps pay for your next spell. So it's essentially 1 green mana to replace it and put some cards in your bin.
This is a
like this because what it does to when I'm deck building, like how can I use this? What decks is this good in? What decks do I want to make tokens or fill my bin? Or give myself some options. If you're searching for an answer, it's a permanent. It doesn't have to be a creature. You can grab an enchantment. You can grab that land you're looking for. Whatever you need. This grabs you that, puts cards in your bin, gets you closer to whatever graveyard count mechanic you need. It's cool in so many different scenarios. Yeah, I love the flexibility of this.
Yeah, I'm shocked a little bit that this is one of your favorite cards of all time. It's like it's a card that most would just overlook. They would see, a green common. Yes, it's from MH3 or whatever, but like they would see it and then be like, no, we've seen like 6 cards like that being printed, but this one does something that's a little bit more than like what those like cards do. Like the cards are like Malevolent Rumble. They aren't Malevolent Rumble.
Every competitive player I know was a little tweaking when this thing got printed. We were all like, this does so much. This does so much.
Yep. Yeah, the additional mana is crazy.
There's something there.
Permanent card too. I mean, it's just like this.
I don't think it's
crazy. Yeah.
I don't think it's broken or busted. I just love what it does to my brain, which asks the question, how can I use this?
Yeah. Yep. And you can't whiff because you get the scion at the very least.
Yeah.
So, all right.
I gotta go with my girl, Lily of the Veil. I think we're
We're going with this one.
No, we're not. No,
Yep.
we're not. No, I'm not even going to talk about it if you go with that one. I'm not even going to talk about it. Skip me. And
you
you
missed it on YouTube. You can go back and check it out.
Yeah, I'm gonna specifically go to the correct one. So there's the correct.
The very first Liliana of the Veil.
The correct one
from Innistrad.
Got that Steve Argyle extra booby artwork. So this card is one of my favorite cards, not because of the boobs, because of the fact that it forces a really cool play pattern. It forces you to have planned to play this card, and specifically have planned to play this card on curve. The typical play pattern is you play this, you neg 2 when it comes down to remove the threat that would kill her, right? And then the next few turns, you start playing out creatures and plussing up. So you're getting rid of your hand too, but the exchange is somehow unequal, even though it is. I mean, you're both losing cards from your hand at the same rate. But because you played it, and because you control her, and because you're the hand on the button, I mean, I played competitive Modern Jund for several years, and there were many games I won where I had her out, and some turns I couldn't plus her. I got no value out of the card for one turn rotation because I had an Abrupt Decay in hand, and I had nothing else in hand, and I needed it because if they played the one card that answers this, I had to remove it.
Yeah.
And it's kind of funny because it makes you build around it, but it also just gives you so much flexibility. I love that the Edict is one-sided. I love that the discard is not one-sided. And I mean, the ult it's
a game winner.
Ult is a game winner.
Yeah, you win the game with the ult.
So, and it also wins the game in kind of a fun play too, because I've played games where that ult has been done to me in a mirror match, and then I continued to play through it and won. And then I've also ulted people and lost because, I separated the piles just slightly wrong and they had a little too many resources on one side. I gave them lands or permanents, and you got to kind of really be careful. It rewards a better player. This is a card that when you start playing with it, if you are not good, as I was not good when I started playing this card, it will punish you. And then you will learn. You will learn how to make better decisions. What card from my hand do I actually need?
Yep. Yeah.
Card I've grown with over the years, and I really appreciate it.
Yeah, it's funny that it just came back around in Standard. From Dominaria United, that they reprinted this, put it back into Standard, and rotated out not too long ago. But with Innkeeper's Talent, it was one of those things where it's just like you drop it immediately and you ult it immediately. There were games where you could see Mono Black Control. Like Mono Black Control won a few Standard tournaments because Lily would be at the helm. Like you had to be holding a Get Lost for Lily.
I think people, when this came back in Dominaria, it actually didn't get that much play. I mean, there was the Mono Black build, but in general, it didn't get as much play. And especially it got reprinted. I was like, oh, it's going to be in Pioneer. It's got to dominate Pioneer now. It didn't at all. It got no Pioneer play. And that really broke my heart because the power level of this card is crazy.
Yeah.
This is a crazy high power level card. And it just isn't as powerful anymore, which is really just breaks my heart. It really does. It scares me.
It hasn't gotten any weaker. I think that your two selections so far, like with Lightning Bolt not having gotten weaker and still presenting still such a high ceiling, I think Lily is still there. It's not that it's weak. I just don't think that newer players give it the respect it deserves.
I think both things are true with Lily. I don't think Lily's gotten weaker, but I think the cards around Lily at the 3 slot in competitive play are so much stronger with Flage and Uros and stuff rolling around. It's just like the offset to her is so high that, she's not taking as much out of your opponent's game plan as she used to.
Yeah, there isn't.
Fortunately.
Yeah, I mean, we see the Ajani from Lorwyn as a 3-mana planeswalker. All I'm saying is that for 3-mana planeswalkers, you have Liliana and Oko, and those are the best, the best of all time.
Absolutely.
Yep.
Absolutely.
All right.
Don't even.
I'm trying to compliment your selection. Jesus.
Johnny's booty.
All right. Here we go. My final selection. This is, none of these cards actually take 1, 2, or 3. But this one is the oldest of the 3, and it was my first. Basically, it wasn't my first card, but it was the first card I built a deck around. My first card ever was Putrefacts. If you don't know Putrefacts, that was the first card I literally ever got in my hands. And I was like, oh my God, that's so sick. So it makes sense that I ended up here because Hapatra, Vizier of Poisons, illustrated by the single greatest fantasy artist of all time, Tyler Jacobson, is a black and a green Golgari legendary creature, human cleric that finally got a reprint in Lorwyn Eclipsed Commander. Insane that it took this long. But whenever Hapatra deals combat damage to a player, you may put a -1/-1 counter on target creature. Whenever you put one or more -1/-1 counters on a creature, create a 1/1 green snake creature token with Death Touch. This was a standard deck that I was playing, and people were like, what are you doing? Because this is the time of like Torrential Gearhulk and like...
I'm making snakes.
You can't attack into me. And the Carnage Tyrant came out and like became a big part of my deck because I had to fight the Torrential Gearhulks. But yeah, Hapatra is this crazy engine that just gives like it changes my brain chemistry whenever I play it. Like I drop Hapatra in Commander, right? Put it down, and then usually it's the first creature to hit the board. If for first in turn order, and then I actually get to swing through and zap a dork or zap a thing and whatever, and then I get that 1/1 Death Touch. The thing is that Hapatra has so many combo lines. Like this little idea of putting a -1/-1 counter on a creature and then creating a token as a result of that results in it gives you these really cool combo lines. And I've had to, go through in Rubik's Cube a few games with things like Carnifex Demon and Archfiend of Ifnir, like big chunky cards that synergize so well with Hapatra. And then like Generous Patron, can I draw my whole library? And then I was rewarded by being an early believer in Hapatra, rewarded with in Modern Horizons 1 with the printing of Yawgmoth. So that, having this is one of my favorite cards, and seeing all these cards like come out over time that deal with -1/-1 counters, and then how do I magnify them? How do I make them better? Is Wither viable? Is like this is one of those cards that it requires a complete build around, and every so often we get a new card that reinvigorates my love for Hapatra. So not to bash Lorwyn or the Blight mechanic or anything like that, but it's like one of those things. We have new toys now. The Blight mechanic just not as good as something like Yawgmoth. So we'll see. I'm gonna put an updated Hapatra list together so that we can see really where it goes. But Moonshadow goes in because you get so many freaking -1/-1 counters. It's insane. And then you get cool things like when you get to blight something of your own, you get that effect. So, love Hapatra. Shout out Tyler Jacobson.
I used to sideboard one copy of this in when I was playing Yawgmoth in Modern, and it would change. When she came out, it became like, it's like when you have a secondary commander, it's like, actually, I'm all in on this route now. Every single time I played her, it was like, I'm not even going for the combo kill now. I'm just going to snake you to death. Yeah.
Now I can get through. Now I can she's really a powerhouse.
Fun.
Yes.
Yeah. The resilience of her strategies are really fun.
Mm-hmm. Here's the thing also as well, history lesson. Hapatra survived in Amonkhet and is still alive somewhere out there in the multiverse. So please, Wizards of the Coast, give us a new Hapatra that's super cool. I've just been waiting so long.
When you do bring her back, don't make her lame.
Yeah, don't make her lame. We thought in Aftermath, Hazaret came back with Djiro or whatever, but here's the thing, is that Hapatra has escaped Amonkhet with Hazaret. So why didn't they make a Jund thing? I don't know.
Oh, and then you could make her unblockable.
And then I could make her unblockable.
She's a 2/2.
Yes, dude.
Oh.
Hazaret and Hapatra are meant to be.
It makes sense.
Yes. So does my connection with Hazaret Godseeker make more sense now?
No.
All right, next.
Yeah, I think that's me, and I think we're going to talk Ink Shield.
Ooh,
So this was part of Commander 2021 originally. And I love it so much because in Commander, I love lying. This gives me the unique opportunity to be like, I think I have it on my next turn. You know, you gotta, if I get another turn, you're all dead.
Oh, and then people force the attack on you.
Oh my God.
And that's usually true because they all swing.
So you bait this.
You force the truth.
Yeah. I love this.
Never
for
seen
that
this.
reason. I love
I've never
this.
seen
Is the
this
biggest
played. I've never seen
gotcha.
it.
This. I don't know how you guys do it. I definitely do it. When I'm building commander decks, I'm looking to be the smartest person, big brain out there. And I think like another way to show that is with a gotcha. So Ink Shield, for all of you not on YouTube, 3, a white and a black for an instant. Prevent all combat damage that would be dealt to you this turn. For each 1 damage prevented this way, create a 2/1 Inkling with flying. So good. I got it currently in a token deck I play. It's got some additional synergy there, but it lets you bark. It lets you talk. You know? Your deck ain't anything. It 10/10 flying trample first. I don't care what 10 damage. That's nothing. And then they swing it at you to prove to you that it's nothing, and then you show them.
Yeah, and the artwork is gorgeous. Like, I will say the artwork on this card is amazing. And then R.I.P. Sheldon Menery. This was also one of his favorite cards for him to have designed. So yeah, this I've only played it maybe like twice. I've only actually got it to resolve like twice, and I never won.
What did you play it in? What do you play it in?
I have a Felice, the Reverence.
Yeah, the uncommon 5 mana, multiple pits.
Yeah.
I was just curious. I've never been ink shielded in my life.
I have that title wrong.
No, Felice, Reverent Medium.
Reverent Medium. Thank you. Yes, that's the deck I play this in. Just because it makes tokens, like it seemed like a flavorful spot for it.
It's pretty funny.
Yeah, it's a really great gotcha.
It's so dumb. I've kept pretty bad hands just so I can keep this in my opener because I want to get there. That's the fun. That's why we do it.
Nice. All right.
Okay.
Annihilator reporting for duty. What is your final favorite card?
I was gonna say Glarb when we were talking about this.
Yeah.
And now I think like the reason for the season with Glarb and the reason I enjoy playing him so much is that all of my favorite decks have always done this, and the most simplest version of this is Crucible of Worlds. I love playing lands from the graveyard.
Yeah, this is one of the classics of all time. I remember when I first started playing this, it's still up near like $40.
Oh yeah.
And that judge one, financial advice, buy the 2009 Judge promo Crucible of Worlds. It's freaking.
Oh, right here, yes.
It's freaking gorgeous. It's maybe the most pretty foiling ever done. That Ron Spencer art is so timeless. Mm-hmm. It is so timeless. Maybe my favorite art in Magic. It's so cool. You've got like the spiky space butthole, and then you've got like the green, like lush, happy space butthole. And then you have like all of these little, planets dancing around. I don't know. I mean, professionally, outside of Magic, I'm a guy who works with the earth, likes the environment, and just the idea of like, excuse me, just being able to replay my lands, recycle my lands. I was between this and Life from the Loam for this effect, but Crucible of Worlds is just the most simple, straight to the point, First thing that did this. Here you go. You can play your lands from the grave.
I always thought we were looking at like an hourglass here. Am I wrong? I always thought like the shitty dead trees were in the bottom of the top of the hourglass, and then all the dead stuff is falling into the bottom of the hourglass, and it's becoming good and nice.
That's interesting.
Yeah, I do not know what it. It just makes sense. That's it. That's the only thing. It just makes sense.
I see what you're saying, because like you can see the hole in the top.
There is a transfer of something happening.
Yeah, where the dead stuff is going down into the new one.
Replenished.
I like that it doesn't make clear sense. I like that it's just like high fantasy space artwork. I love that it's got the DCI star. I just love the background artifact coloring. I love, this is like maybe my favorite printing of a card ever. Is this Judge 2009 Crucible of Worlds? That's my pick for prettiest card ever. It is awesome.
Have you guys seen those like street artists in like Las Vegas and stuff like that like do spray paint space planets and stuff like that? Yeah. This artwork alone had to have inspired thousands across the world to do this, because this is the original version of that. Yeah. Like it's crazy.
Great flavor text too. Amongst the darkest ashes grow the strongest seeds. Like, true facts.
Yeah. If you want a card that's going to shine like none other, then you do get this Judge foil. There aren't other printings that are as good. This is the best version of this card.
But yeah, Crucible of Worlds. I mean, playing lands from the grave, dude. There you go.
Nice.
Play lands from the grave. Surveil them in, mill them in, whatever you're doing. Fetch.
Rumble them in.
Get your fetches back every turn. You don't need red and 6.
Discard them because you decided to play Song of Creation.
Yeah. You can feel less bad about your failed Song of Creation turn,
Liliana.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There you go.
Discard it.
Great. Yeah.
Yeah, we got full circle. Now, I think we did it. Is that 9? That's 9 cards?
Yeah.
Hey. Well, if you, dear listener, would like to let us know what your favorite cards are, if some of your favorite cards are some of our favorite cards, let us know in the comment section below on YouTube. Final thoughts, fellas? Anything?
I'm glad we did this. I had so much fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, me too. That was fun.
Yeah. Turns out.
I wish you'd stop saying the word Annihilator.
Wait, you want me to call you by your name? All right.
Call me by my name?
Yeah. Annihilator.
Okay. I set you up for... never mind. It's fine. Let's call it.
All right, we're out of here. If you'd like to support us, you can find us on YouTube, where you can subscribe, ring that bell for notifications. You can also find us on all podcasting platforms, where you can leave us a 5-star review to make us look super duper cool. You can also support us on Patreon by becoming an official Pepperhead for $3 a month. You can have your name turned Dr. Pepper Red on the Discord server. You can also join the Discord server. Jump in there, drop a deck list, brew something up. We just had someone drop a comment about Ang, the Bant Ang food chain cEDH deck list. And, it's something that I haven't really put too much thought to, but Bant food chain is a lot of fun. So yeah, we could brew something up in there. You can also join us for Wednesday Webcam Wizardry. Join the Discord server, jump in that channel, check out the rules, the deck building guidelines, and jump into that league. 2 weeks left to knock UWP Quirt off the throne. And then we'll be starting a new league. Probably take a week off and then jump in, do a new league.
Yep.
Yeah? Great.
You betcha.
All right. And like our patrons, Gabe, McAvoy, and definitely Jeremy, Mono, Greg, Reven Lift, UWP Court, Will Rule, Pool Boy Barry, maybe Anthony, Ryan G, and Adam. Thank you all for your support. We're also hosting, if you are in the Seattle or greater Seattle area, we're hosting Commander Nights on Tuesdays at Picklewood Paddle Club in the upstairs mezzanine. No outside food or beverage allowed, but it's going to be a sweet, sweet space to gather. And the thing is the food's awesome. I know, because I made it. It's also a really great central location. I know that generally when people go to Mox Boarding House or in Bellevue or in Ballard, it's overflowing. There's not enough tables. There's other events going on. And when you go to Zulu's up in Bothell, it's always overflowing. There's always a ton of people. We're just trying to offer a new space for people to find and congregate with their pods. So thank you guys so much for listening. This has been the MoxStars podcast, the #1 podcast on the internet for Magic the Gathering and Dr. Pepper. We're out of here. Peace.